Before yesterday's game, Arsenal had won 24 out of 24 games that they took the lead in this season. They took the lead in the game versus Manchester United, and with Arsenal's defensive record, they expect to win again. It's easy when they take the lead. No, it's not, because Manchester United won the game. Manchester United are the first team to win at the Emirates all season. They're the first team to beat Arsenal when going 1-0 behind to them in a game all season. Manchester United, the first team to score 3 goals past Arsenal in over 3 years. And that was Manchester United's first league win at the Emirates in 2017. I don't think people realise how big that win is. I don't think people should underestimate that win. We haven't won at the Emirates in a very, very long time. Michael Carrick comes in, and Michael Carrick has proven he's a big game manager because he's come up against Guardiola, Arteta twice, Emery and Tuchel, and has 4 wins and 1 draw. He's not lost. Michael Carrick battered City 2-0. 2-0 is a humbling scoreline to Manchester City. This could have been 5-6-0 to Manchester United, and I'm still convinced that Mason Mount was onside for his goal. You know, Maguire hit the bar. Was it Ahmad or Casemiro that hit the post? Man United should have scored more. We look at this. This is the XG table. Arsenal are first for XG in the league. Man United are second for XG in the league, meaning we're the second best attacking team. We're also third for expected points this season, meaning that Manchester United's performances have warranted a third place finish in the league so far this season. I'm not sure about that. Some of our performances have been bad, but with the amount of goal scoring opportunities we create, we probably should have more points than we do. You know, you look at the Burnley game under Darren Fletcher, we could have scored about 5 goals. We drew 2-2, we dropped 2 points. Manchester United have the best creator in the league in Bruno Fernandes with 10 assists. You've got to remember this guy has played pretty much every game as a defensive midfielder and has got these numbers. Bruno Fernandes is going back in the 10 role. Bruno Fernandes has 10 assists this season. He's going back in the 10 role. Don't even think he had his best game versus Arsenal, but he was destroyed City. Bruno Fernandes was the first player to create 6 chances versus a Pep Guardiola side ever. Created 4 big chances versus Man City. And Bruno Fernandes is the only player to create 4 big chances in a match this season. He's done that 4 times. Bruno Fernandes is a monster. Bruno Fernandes is the second quickest Premier League midfielder to reach 200 goal contributions. Only De Bruyne did it quicker. And I think overall, he's one of the quickest players in the world to reach 200 goal contributions, which is mad, especially considering how much deeper Bruno Fernandes has played. Since Bruno Fernandes made his Manchester United debut, he's created 600 chances. That's nearly 200 chances more than anyone else in the league. I think Bruno Fernandes would be considered in the same category as Kevin De Bruyne had he gone to Manchester City and won Premier Leagues. I think Bruno Fernandes is just as good as Kevin De Bruyne. I think Bruno Fernandes is just suffering because of the team he joined and their lack of success. You cannot compare Bruno Fernandes to Odegaard. What was that disgrace? Manchester United are pretty scary, and Patrick Dorgu, since Boxing Day, is looking like Gareth Bale, scoring goals. Patrick Dorgu's looking like a new player. You know, it's like a new signing. Is Patrick Dorgu a better left winger than Garnacho? Because Dorgu's got more goals and assists than Garnacho this season, and you've got to remember, he's only played a couple games at left wing. I mean, that's pretty mad in itself. You've got Bruno, the best creator in the league. You've got Patrick Dorgu coming in as a wing-back. But what is truly terrifying about Man United? That's what we're going to talk about. Well, first of all, Man United in big games. Man United, Fulham's going to be a different test, but Man United have proven this season in big games they can perform. But most importantly, their players can perform. We've seen Cunha and Mbeumo score goals in big games, have good performances, but Bruno Fernandes, assist versus Arsenal, assist versus Manchester City, assist versus Tottenham, assist versus Liverpool, goal versus Chelsea. Bruno Fernandes loves a big game. One of the best midfielders in the Premier League. Harry Maguire's come back from injury and drops 2 fantastic performances against second-place Manchester City with the best attack in the league, Cherki, Semenyo, Foden, Haaland, Doku. And then he's going to put a man-of-the-match performance versus a very physical Arsenal side where he had to deal with a million set pieces. Thomas Tuchel's got to be looking at this guy. No De Ligt, who's Man United's best centre-back, but Maguire's there. Solid. Aiden Heaven, when he stepped in, solid. Lisandro Martinez, bar the mistake for the Timber goal, had a very good game. And Mbeumo and Cunha, Prem-proven signings. These guys were bound to deliver. Manchester United got their transfers right. They just didn't sign a midfielder, which was a big L. But they got their transfers right in Prem-proven players. Cunha versus Liverpool, fantastic. Cunha off the bench versus City, fantastic. Cunha versus Arsenal today, fantastic. Cunha getting goals and assists, and Bumo scoring versus Liverpool, and Bumo scoring versus City, and Bumo scoring versus Arsenal. What did I say? Man United have players that are ready to perform on the big stage. Man United have players that can win those big games. And Manchester United have a player that hasn't got a goal or assist lately, but an absolutely phenomenal player that was lighting up AFCON in Diallo. I don't think people realise how good Diallo is. I don't think Diallo had his best game today versus Arsenal. I think he was more one of the quieter players. But Man United didn't have a lot of the ball. But Diallo is a phenomenal player. I mean, he's ridiculously good. You could argue he's having a better season than Bukayo Saka this year. I mean, Man United have some very good players when you think about it. They definitely need a midfielder. There's definitely questions if, an injury happens in midfield to Casemiro, Bruno, what happens there? But they were comparing Bruno to Odegaard. Bruno didn't even have his best game and had a much better game than Odegaard. The disrespect. But you got to talk about Michael Carrick. You got to give credit to Michael Carrick. Michael Carrick won back-to-back league games in his first attempt. It took him 8 days. It took Ruben Amorim nearly a year to win back-to-back league games. So well done, Michael Carrick. And he did it. Not only, he didn't win back-to-back league games against Wolves and Burnley, he won back-to-back league games against first and second. Arsenal unbeaten before today. Arsenal at home had beaten Bayern Munich 3-1. Bayern Munich had not lost a single game all season. Arsenal was the first loss of the season. Pretty much won every game this season before Arsenal. Atletico, they beat Atletico 4-0, not 4-1, sorry. And Villa 4-1 this season. Villa on a 13-game winning streak. Atletico, a tough side to break down. Arsenal battered them 4-0. They beat Bayern 3-1. Michael Carrick beat this side, our first win in the league at the Emirates since 2017. An Arsenal side that have not lost at home this season. An Arsenal side that have won every single game they've played in. Not even one draw. They've won every single game they've played in when they've gone 1-0 up. And Michael Carrick beat that team. Michael Carrick's subs were spot on. When Dorgu had to come off, he could have put on a defensive sub. He put Sesko on. He took Mbumo for Cunha. He knew the United DNA. Ruben Amorim takes off attackers, brings on defenders, and we still concede. Michael Carrick went, no, the United DNA is you sub attacker off for an attacker. Let's not invite too much pressure. And luckily, went up the other end and scored. Benjamin Sesko's barely playing at the moment. But Benjamin Sesko, he was in great run of form before Carrick came in, and I'm sure Carrick's going to use this guy soon, and I'm sure this guy could thrive at Manchester United. Benjamin Sesko is, 3 goals in his last 3 games. That's one to watch. He's really young. Still think he could rise to the level at United. And for the first time in 121 games, Arsenal conceded 3+ goals. Bruno, Mbumo, Ahmad, Cunha, Dorgu, Sesko, and Mbumo. Man United's attack is mint. Man United's attack is mint. But also, Man United didn't concede a shot on target versus Man City. We've been critical of Man United's defence. Man United's defence letting them down. It took Arsenal a set-piece goal on an own goal to score against us. Man United didn't concede a shot on target versus City. Man United's midfield has been more compact. Man United's defence has been more compact. This Man United side looks a lot better. And the biggest thing was the difference in attention. And this is what Carrick's got spot on. And HTO says this completely right. The difference in attentions the last 2 games are night and day. They don't turn back, they don't pass sideways, and they take the risk. That is the Man United DNA. Don't get me wrong, Fulham will be a complete different test, but they're playing with a different mindset, and intention is to win. It's no, let's play a back 5, bring on defenders, and try and keep a 1-0 lead versus West Ham. Then we concede a goal versus West Ham when he brings on more defenders. Ruben Amorim, negative approach. 10 men Everton, 80 minutes against 10 men Everton, and Ruben Amorim refuses to attack. This is Arsenal, the best team in the league. City, the second best team in the league. We're going to attack and attack and attack. And even when we're 1-0 up against City, we're going to attack and attack and attack. We're not going to sit back. That is the United DNA. This is Michael Carrick. This is Michael Carrick. This is what he's done so far. Now, Fulham's a different test. I'm not saying we're going to win every game. I'm not saying that Man United are going to be incredible. But this Man United side that we've seen in the last 2 games is terrifying. This Man United side is serious. And this shows what Man United are capable of doing, but we need to see this more. We need to see consistency. We're going to have 2 big players coming back soon. Mazraoui's also already back in, and I think he is an improvement on Diallo. We give Diallo his fair share of criticism, but I thought Diallo was good. Matthijs de Ligt is our best centre-back. We haven't had him for a while. We've got De Ligt, we've got Heaven, we've got Yoro to come into this, we've got Mazraoui. Sesko's barely getting minutes. The only big issue with Man United I look at is the midfield. If Casemiro gets injured, oof. If Mane gets injured, oof. If Bruno gets injured, oof. Do you know what I mean? Man, that's the depth. But Man United have 1 game a week, and that's maybe one of the positives having 1 game a week. The players are going to be fit. The players are going to be full of energy. 1 game a week FC. we can attack every team. We've got a good team to deal with one game a week. I think we're in the Champions League. We're going to need better depth. But we've got an opportunity to get Champions League. And one thing I'm going to give Ineos praise for, because I've given Ineos a lot of stick, is their recruitment is better than the last set. Dorgu. He had a slow start, but he came in mid-season. You got to remember, it's harder coming in January than it is in the summer because you don't get pre-season. He got thrown right in right away, and he was 20 years old and had barely any experience coming from Italy. He's been fantastic lately. And Bruno hit the ground running. Cunha has been fantastic in those big games. Lamons has been fantastic. And even Sesko's made some contributions. 5 players at the club since last January. All 5 players I'm happy with. Sesko is the biggest question mark over him, but he's young. Dorgo had a question mark over him, and look at him now. It might take Sesko a year to settle in. You know? I'm happy with all of these people. I'm happy. Has Ineos got recruitment right? We have to give them credit sometimes. I think the recruitment's better. Look, we need a midfield rebuild. Ineos know we need a midfield rebuild. The next manager's got to be back. The next manager's got to be given a midfielder. But the recruitment at Man United is better. The players at Man United is better. The players Man United have is good. Carrick has brought the feel-good factor back to Manchester United. The players are playing for Carrick. The players are happy. Bruno Fernandes is in the number 10 role. Michael Carrick is playing a compact Man United midfield, so out of possession teams aren't running through us. Man United are scoring chances. You know? Man United. Could we be back? I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. Fulham is a big game. But rivals should be scared. I'm happy with what I'm seeing. Let me know your thoughts down below.